welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so if you spent any time online in the last few years, you definitely know that the conversation around Grand Theft Auto 6, well, it's been less of a gentle stream and more like a Category 5 information hurricane.
It truly has, yeah. I mean, we've been swimming in literally thousands of comments, theories, some pretty wild leaps.
Right.
For anyone just trying to figure out what this next huge installment actually looks like, it's overwhelming. A classic signal-to-noise problem, really.
And that is exactly why we're here today. Our mission basically is to cut straight through all that noise. We've sifted through the most credible stuff, the leaks that feel, almost confirmed, and we boiled it down to 5 foundational points. We're giving you the shortcut to understanding the core ideas behind GTA 6. Like, what are the big defining changes we're actually seeing?
Okay, let's dive right in. Maybe start with the human element. The characters, the narrative core. That seems like a good place.
Sounds good. And the sources here seem unusually specific, don't they?
Yeah.
We're looking at Lucia and Jason as the main characters. That's already a big shift from GTA 5.
It is. And what's really interesting isn't just that we have a female protagonist, which is new for the main series, but the whole setup they're hinting at.
Yep.
They seem designed as this definite criminal duo. The leaks strongly suggest a kind of Bonnie and Clyde dynamic.
Okay, Bonnie and Clyde, tell us why that matters structurally. Because, GTA 5 gave us Michael, Franklin, Trevor.
Yeah.
3 quite different perspectives, right?
Yeah.
Different lives, gameplay styles.
Yeah.
It allowed for that broad social satire.
Exactly.
So if we're locked into just a pair, how does that change the kind of story we're getting?
Well, it tightens the focus considerably. Instead of that wide social commentary across a city, we're probably looking at something much more intense, interwoven, a deeply dramatic story about one relationship under extreme pressure. Mission design could really lean into that shared dynamic. Do they trust each other? Does Jason need to bail Lucia out? Or the other way around? Maybe shared health bars, shared objectives, and definitely more focus on those moments where, relationship tension impacts dialogue or choices.
So it shifts from that big picture commentary.
Yeah, to something more micro level, like a desperate survival for this specific pair.
It sounds like the stakes are just inherently higher then, because there's always that built-in jeopardy for the character you're not controlling at that moment.
Precisely.
It sort of transforms the main challenge from how do I survive the cops to how do we survive the cops and maybe each other.
You've got it. And if you look back at Rockstar's last big one, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Right, with Arthur and the gang.
Yeah, that focused so intensely on the bonds and the fractures within that group. They clearly nailed that kind of deep relational storytelling. This duo structure feels like applying those lessons to, modern urban crime.
Okay, interesting. And speaking of settings, let's talk location. This has been, speculated about forever, basically. Yeah. But the leaks seem pretty clear now. We're going back to Vice City.
Confirmed, Vice City, yeah. Obviously based on Miami, that's the backdrop. But the really key thing coming out of the sources isn't just, nostalgia.
What does it say?
It's the sheer scale and the technical ambition they're talking about. Reports keep saying the map will be significantly larger than any previous Grand Theft Auto world.
Okay, but we hear that with almost every big sequel, right? The map's bigger. How does that actually translate into a meaningful change for you, the player? Especially since, map size isn't always everything.
That's a fair point. And that's where the leaks get more interesting. They emphasize that the world is being built to truly feel alive.
Alive how?
Not just big, but reactive. We're talking like a level of detail where NPCs might have persistent detailed schedules, or where small, seemingly random events could trigger little micro-stories you can watch or even get involved in. The size only matters if the world feels like it's operating even when you're not there, Responsive, dynamic, like Vice City is genuinely pulsating with life, independent of the player.
So the goal isn't just a bigger playground, it's more like a living ecosystem.
Pretty much, yeah.
And if the city is designed to feel that alive, that massive, then the systems governing how you interact with it must also be getting a major upgrade. Which brings us neatly to the third core area, gameplay mechanics.
Absolutely. And we've got some pretty concrete leaks suggesting 3 big areas are being overhauled. It feels like a move away from pure arcade chaos, maybe towards something more calculated and tactical engagement.
Okay, lay them out for us. What are the 3 key mechanical shifts the sources point to?
Okay, first, a fundamentally new and better combat system. Second, significantly improved stealth mechanics. And third, what could be the real game changer? The introduction of realistic police AI.
All right, let's tackle combat first. New and better. What does that really imply, given GTA's history? Are we thinking it might move towards something with more weight, more physics, like Red Dead Redemption 2?
That's the most compelling idea, I think. If they're pushing realism everywhere else, narrative environment, it makes sense that combat would shift away from the sort of snappy, almost lightweight feel of GTA 5 toward something with more character weight, maybe more complex cover mechanics, perhaps more, well, brutal consequences for taking hits. The core idea seems to be grounding every action, running, shooting, making it feel more physical.
Okay, grounded combat. And then linking that to improve stealth. That sounds significant. Stealth in older GTAs often felt a bit tacked on, didn't it? Like a minigame you could sometimes do.
Right, totally. But now, we're seeing suggestions of like actual line of sight cones, maybe noise meters, environmental takedowns, mechanics that suggest stealth isn't just a way to skip a few enemies, but a fully viable path for complex missions.
And that preparation, that tactical thinking, sets the stage for maybe the biggest system change you mentioned, the realistic police AI.
Yeah, this is where things could get really consequential for just the moment-to-moment feel of playing. Police in GTA have always been kind of predictable, haven't they?
Definitely. Raise the stars, they spawn, they chase. You hide for a bit, they forget.
Exactly. So, if we introduce genuinely realistic police AI,
Wait.
how does that change that core sandbox loop?
It must change everything, right?
It feels like it shifts the whole experience from simple running away to like a proper tactical escape. Realistic AI suggests smarter pursuits, maybe effective flanking, setting up roadblocks based on where they think you're going, maybe even different police forces having different jurisdictions or tactics. So instead of just outrunning one car, you might have to strategically lose a helicopter using tunnels or wait out backup before making a break for it. Hiding, camouflage, it all becomes much more important.
So if the AI is truly realistic, it means just going on a chaotic rampage gets punished way more severely.
Yeah.
And getting away requires actual planning.
Exactly.
That feeds directly back into that desperate Bonnie and Clyde idea, where being calculated is key. You can't just drive into the hills until the stars vanish anymore.
Precisely. It seems to mandate a more thoughtful approach. Like, the decision to commit a crime has to involve weighing these potentially very real, very severe consequences.
And that push towards realism and consequences isn't just about the people, is it? Let's move to our fourth big point, which is about the environment itself. Dynamic weather.
Yes. This is another incredible detail that really ties back into making Vice City feel genuinely alive. The sources confirm we won't just get dynamic weather shifts, it's pretty standard now, but extreme events, specifically storms and hurricanes.
Wow.
And they'll be fully integrated into the gameplay.
And the crucial bit there is integrated, right? Not just pretty effects in the sky. These things will actively impact the game world.
That's exactly it. They're built in, so the environment itself can become, well, an obstacle. Or maybe even an opportunity sometimes.
How so?
Imagine planning a heist, and suddenly a Category 3 hurricane rolls in, forcing you to completely change your plan. Roads flooding could stop cars. High winds might affect vehicle handling, even planes. We're seeing hints that huge storms could actually pause missions or drastically alter the conditions.
That raises the stakes massively. If you're trying to escape that realistic police AI we just talked about,
Yeah.
and suddenly the storm surge turns the street you were heading down into a river, the environmental challenge just became bigger than the human one. It means the world itself is throwing unpredictable systemic challenges at you. You need real adaptability.
It adds this amazing layer of systemic depth, doesn't it? The world is constantly, sometimes literally, fighting back. It forces you to think ecologically, not just tactically against the NPCs.
So those 4 points, the tight narrative, the living map, the tactical AI, the dynamic environment, they paint this picture of an incredibly ambitious game, really grounded in hyper-realism.
Seems that way.
But ambitious games, well, they take time. Which brings us to our 5th and final confirmed piece of info, the timeline.
Right. And this last bit moves us away from the leaks and speculation into something more concrete. It gives everyone listening that essential time context.
Exactly. Rockstar themselves have officially given a hint about the release window.
And that official hint points towards 2025. That's the key distinction here. This is official from the developer. It's separate from the leaks about features we've been discussing, even the highly credible ones.
Good point.
This gives us the year to circle on the calendar, when we can expect to actually see all these massive changes on our screens.
Okay, so let's just quickly pull these threads together for you, the listener. We've got this deeply personal, interdependent Bonnie and Clyde story with Lucia and Jason. We have an expanded, dynamic Vice City map designed to feel truly alive, reactive.
Yep.
We're seeing a fundamental shift in gameplay towards realism, tactical police AI, proper stealth, grounded combat.
Okay.
And finally, the world itself pushes back with dynamic environmental stuff like integrated hurricanes.
And if you connect all those dots, look at the bigger picture. Every single one of these confirmed-ish details seems to be pushing hard towards hyperrealism. And the physics, the AI, the consequences, the story.
Which, doesn't that raise a really interesting, maybe fundamental tension for this whole franchise? I mean, Grand Theft Auto has always walked this line, hasn't it? Between sharp social realism and just the pure joy of chaotic sandbox freedom.
That's a great point.
The ability to just cause mayhem without lasting consequence.
It does raise that tension. If the game really is structurally designed to emphasize realistic consequences, realistic behavior, and if it punishes that chaos with smart tactical police who don't just, give up, then your whole relationship with the sandbox changes, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, the ability to just mess around, cause destruction for fun, it becomes far more costly. The pushback is real.
So the big question becomes, how much pure, consequence-free chaos can you actually create when the world is designed, seemingly expertly, to realistically push back?
Yeah.
To force strategic, calculated play?
Yeah.
It sort of implies that the Grand Theft Auto part of the game, stealing cars, maybe big heists,
Yeah.
might require way more planning than ever before.
That seems to be the ultimate tension sitting right at the core of this new title. And it's something you, the player, are going to have to grapple with when 2025 finally rolls around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So as you wait for that official launch window, maybe reflect on which of these 5 big elements we discussed. The narrative duo, the living map, the smart AI, the dynamic weather. Which one do you think will have the biggest practical impact on how you actually play this massive, ambitious game from moment to moment?
For my money, it's usually the systemic stuff, especially that police AI. That's the kind of change that tends to leave the biggest, most lasting mark on how people actually behave in the game world.
I think you might be right. Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into what seems to be shaping the future of Vice City. We'll catch you next time.